Ready?
Yeah.
That was not intentional.
Good Lord, sir.
I'm dying. Okay.
I can see that.
Hey, welcome back everybody to another episode of V-Time, episode 231. Almost forgot there.
231. It's almost close to our
31.
Almost close to our highway.
That's, geez, don't dox yourself. Anyway. Anyway, we got a jam-packed episode. We got not only our final Destined one finally shown up, but also the final cards for the Night Rose Stride deck set, as well as a couple of news here and there to kind of finish it off, and other goodies from set 5. So it's going to be a very cool episode.
Yeah. You said you get to talk about your girl today.
I get to talk about my girl today. Yep. Man, she's a hell of a lot of fun. I can't wait to rant. Anyway.
Hey, yes, package for Mr. Top Deck Heroes.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks. Mr. Top Deck Heroes. Mr. Top Deck Heroes, package. Man, another one? What is with this guy? Mr. Top Deck Heroes. Again.
Oh, Melody again.
Mr. Top Deck Heroes. Your package. Oh, God. Thank you. That was heavy. What's in that one?
Oh, trading cards.
Cards. Was every one of them cards?
Yeah.
How can you afford that?
Oh, that's interesting you say that. I got it from the voice bit.
Secret.
Man, these people are crazy.
It's no secret. 50 cards. Use code TD Heroes for a discount.
Start us off. Straight, nice, and easy. We got some Solairon support. Alex, you're the closest person to play Solairon next to Hector. You take it.
Sure. Can I see the name?
Hey, you right. You right.
They got Academic of Invoiced.
Titty. Say it.
Say it. Change the name.
Say it.
Titty.
It's Titty.
It's a grade 1. Auto rear guard at the end of the battle. This unit boosted if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Solairon in its card name, and your rear guard was placed on rear guard from your deck this turn. Cost: put this unit into your soul. Choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it.
Oh my God, Keter has a retire engine finally.
Yep, they've had a retire engine. It's called the Splash Blaster Blade or Blaster Dork into your deck. Now you have another way to do it.
Fair.
Usually, Ryan. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, usually you see Keter go with the bot deck mechanic rather than retire, so this is interesting.
But yeah, now Orion has his own little built-in retire engine, if you want to run it.
Hey, it's a common though, and we wouldn't be covering a common if there wasn't something else to cover for Solairon.
Yeah. So next we got is the double rare. Right? Is it double rare? Yeah, double rare. Academic of Chronicles, Lighten. To grade 3, auto rear guard when this unit attacks. If a normal unit was revealed by the ability of your Vanguard with Orion in its card name during this turn, you may have this unit get power plus 10,000 till the end of the battle. If you do, put this unit into your soul at the end of the battle. And then in your soul act, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Orion in its card name, cost: bind this card, choose a normal unit without Sentinel from your drop, and put it on the top of your deck.
So more guarantees.
Yeah, I think this is good because, I mean, if you're struggling to get the card on the top by another means, equally, you can just pull this from your soul, do it. And it's a 23k attacker, well, 28k attacker with Orion because you're going to get to 5k. Which is actually a really good number.
And then you can also choose a card, a normal unit specifically, from your drop button on the top, and you can just select the multi-attacker. So you can get basically guarantee yourself 5 attacks almost every turn as long as you have all the other resources necessary for it.
Yeah. So that's a solid card.
Not to mention it's a grade 3. You know what that means? Forbidal.
Yeah, you can't forfeit all. You're right. Because I think the dragon that was in their deck with it was a grade 3, right?
Dependable, yeah. Dependable was also a grade 3.
Yeah, so yeah, you can forfeit all this. Yeah.
Overall, interesting support. We're going to see a lot of double rares that look interesting, but we're getting into this weird territory where we're getting support cards which are honestly really good options, but not immediate. Not like, oh, this goes in the deck right away. You like, go.
Yeah.
Like, nothing's really changing what the decks want to do. They're just being kind of, oh, here's another option. Speaking of options, this is a card I want to mention. It probably is going to be the only card we're going to mention. Set 5 introduced something that I did not expect to see in a standard set outside of Stride deck sets. And one card as such example is Behind the Gates Okafor secret recipe for the excellent curry. That is the name of the fucking card. It's a
we had a we had a card with Mega Colony as card name, so now we got to have a card with Aquaforce in his card name.
Pretty much. It's a grade 1 blitz order for Stoicheia that says if your opponent's G-Zone has a face-up card, this card can be played without paying the cost, which is play this with discard a card from hand. Choose one of your units being attacked, and it gets power 10k until the end of that bell. Choose up to 4 draw without Sentinel from your drop and call them to Guardian Circle. Now, Alex, why would a Blitz order in Standard say call draws without Sentinel?
Because people could abuse this in other formats, like Premium. So they're forward thinking, which is good.
I know, right?
But the fun fact about this is, you know, the fact that there's more cards is because we earlier this week, or just during the reveals of Set 5, we had a card that talked had a defensive skill with strides.
We're seeing a lot more.
Cool. We're seeing a lot more cards interact with the G-Zen, which is giving me a hint. Either A, we're going to see a lot more stride decks that's coming down the pipeline, and they're just setting up for it, or they're hinting at something I don't want them to hint at. But
No. I honestly do believe they're just introducing more of these cards because we're also seeing support for those stride deck sets. One of the reveals that happened today that we're honestly not going to cover because it's a common is, in all technicality, a Messiah support card. But it's like a common, it probably isn't going to get ran, yada, yada, yada. But they're starting to acknowledge that these decks do exist in Standard, and they do also need some support outside of, you know, Festival generic goodness. So because of that, they're also saying, hey, decks that are not stride decks, here you can run these cards because we know, we understand, we see the results. Sure, no, he's stopping, Lured is stopping, Jets making a comeback, Messiah made a comeback, and now we're getting Hari and Night Rose. So it's like, there's a lot of stride decks running around. Can we have some answers?
Yeah, exactly.
Very nice to see some stuff like that. But we got to move on to the nitty and gritty.
To the last Destined one.
Exactly. We're going to do this back and forth, back and forth. I'm going to start us off with very simple, straightforward, the hardest skill to read. Gear Quetzal of Sweeping Distance, the new starter. Yay. Give you 1 second, draw a card. Nothing special there.
I mean, this is an important card for one reason. The theme of this card is a very big hint of what this deck will do.
Yeah, it's a Gear Eagle. It's a...
Yeah.
It's technically not a Gear Eagle, it's a Gear Beast. But you know, that's enough of a hint that you need. Alice, what we got next?
Next, we got Steam Maiden Tiglat. I'm gonna go with that. Auto, when this unit is placed by writing from a grade 0 unit, cost reveal a grade 3 card with Liel and its card name from your ride deck, and put a Destined timepiece token into your order zone.
Impaldio, is that you?
I was gonna say, I guess in the Destined ones are all about making tokens now.
Set order token specifically, because yeah, the Destined timepiece token is another set order token. This is our third set order token, 2 of which we got literally within a month between each other.
Wait. I got a question for you. Because you're the Dark States guy.
Uh-huh.
Outside of the festival set orders that we got, is this Dark States first set order?
So we got the Dark States set order from Festival, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
I honestly do believe this is Dark States' one and only other set order, because I can't actually recall any other set orders. And the easiest way to find out is literally just go into, you know, the interwebs, type in deck log,
Interwebs.
standard, Dark States, main deck, set order. Yeah.
Yeah, outside of the Dragon Tree set order, yeah.
This is technically our second set order inside of Dark States. That's hilarious. Anyway, the Destined timepiece, unlike Impaldio's set order token, is literally just something that says continuous order zone. You cannot ride grade 3 or greater cards without Leo in their card names, and you can have regress gauges. That's it. It's not, unfortunately, like Impaldio's that says the extra nifty little extra text of, oh, you took a damage and your gauge zone is this, 5k to Vanguard. That would have been cool.
It would have been
cool. But this timepiece is only letting you have gauges, so it's like Impaldio in that aspect. But Alex, why is it important to have gauges? Where does it start?
Because we'll start with life concession. I don't think that's right. Colossus. Grade 2 auto when this unit is placed by riding from Steve Maiden, the grade 1. Cost, put a card from your hand face up as a regress gauge and draw 2 cards.
That's honestly not bad. -1 to +2. Nice filter.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
The card looks simple, but it'll make more sense the more we read. So let's just go straight into the big boss unit herself. Destined One of Time, Lielodium. She's so fucking gorgeous, and she's got 3 really cool abilities. First and foremost, the continuous Vanguard. During your turn, all of your front row rear guards get power 5k for each of your Distorted Bane regress gauges. What's a Distorted Bane? It's a normal order. We'll get to it. We gotta first finish her ability. Auto Vanguard, when this unit attacks, Soul Blast 1, choose a card from your rear guard or hand, put it face up as a regress gauge. If you put a card, this unit gets triple drive until the end of turn. And then Divine Skill, because she is a Destined one. Auto Vanguard. At the end of the battle, this unit attacked. If you have 5 or more regress gauges, any regress gauges, doesn't have to be specific, discard 2 cards from hand, and you get an additional turn. Until the end of that additional turn, this unit gets drive -1, and the ride phase and main phase are not performed during that additional turn. Hey!
Congratulations. Now you got a pure Gear Chronicle deck in there. Eric, where are you at?
Don't worry, I'll be channeling Eric very, very soon. This makes it our technically 3rd card in the whole game that can do the whole extra turn shenanigan, right? Because there was a Stride that did it, but you had to get lucky, right?
So this is the 4th, I think.
Okay, yeah, there's 2 versions of Mystery Flare, yeah.
Yeah, there's the V Mystery Flare, there's OG Mystery Flare that can also do it. There was Chronovisor, Heritage, and then there's this.
Right. Exactly. So this is our technically 4th card that gives us an additional turn. Unlike the other ones, though, you do skip your ride phase and main phase, so you just go straight in battle phase.
Which I think is fair considering how easy this is to pull off versus the other extra turns.
Exactly. So at this current moment, from what the abilities we've seen, the only way to get regress gauges right now is by ride line 1 and this one. So if this was the only way to get regress gauges, you could only do this, let's see, turn 3, turn 4, turn 5, turn 6, which is not optimal, which means there's probably another card that, you know, does the whole regress gauge shindig. Ain't that right?
Yep. You've got the order we talked about, Distorted Bane. It's a Gray 3 normal order. Play this card if you have a Vanguard with Leo in his card name. You make Soul Charge 1 and put this card face up as your regress gauge. And then it has an ability, auto, when this card is put as your regress gauge, draw a card, choose one of your Vanguards, and it gains power plus 10,000. Fun fact about the second ability, you can use it when your Vanguard attacks to, you know, put this into your regress gauges from your hand and draw, still get the draw. And power.
Exactly. Because the Vanguard says rearguard or hand, so if you have it in hand, hey, put it there, draw a card, and gain 10k more power. Why the fuck not?
Yeah. Who needs the minus?
Not to mention, for every one of this order in the gauge zone, your front row rearguards are gaining plus 5k power. So if you manage to get 4, and I'll tell you right now, it's actually really fucking easy to get 4. That's 20k to front row rearguards.
Yeah.
That gets scary fast.
I mean, granted, you're not getting the ability of the Vanguard is not giving the power to the Vanguard, but these orders are giving the power to the Vanguard.
Exactly. And you got triple driving Vanguard, so she's already dangerous just by existing.
Yeah.
Like take Sienna, for example. 23k double crit triple drive. Doesn't have to be much to be dangerous.
No.
But that's not all we got. We also got 4 cards of support, and most of them are honestly really good. One I particularly like is a Blaze Chimera. It's a rare grade 1 that says auto when this unit is placed on rearguard. That's it. Just auto when this unit is placed on rearguard. Not hand, not drop, not anything. If you have a grade 3 greater Vanguard with Leo in its card name, Counterblast 1, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 grade 3 or less card from among them, call it to rearguard and shuffle the deck. It's literally that. Place from anywhere, Counterblast 1, place from anywhere at any moment. Let me clarify that. And then you get the Counterblast 1, look at top 5 and call another thing. And because it says choose up to 1 grade 3 or less card from among them, you can choose Regulus pieces and orders and triggers, anything. So you can choose the Distorted Bane, call it, and then since the order can't exist, it'll go to drop. I'm kind of hinting at a future thing that why would you want to do that?
Yeah, I'm assuming like, well, I don't know why you would want to do that, but I'm sure you have your reasons. This card is also going to be good because in the future, if you ever get a support card that calls things from soul drop or regardless anywhere, regress gauge, something like that, then this card can proc.
Hey, Alex.
Yeah.
What's Distorted Bane?
It is a normal order.
One sec. Where the fuck did I put it? Is it really on the bottom? I have the proxy deck right here. One sec. Ah, there it is. What's this?
That is a really, really cool generic card that says you can call cards off the top of your deck if you play an order.
Yeah, so play an order, draw a card, play this, Soul Blast 1, look at top 5. Oh, look, Chimera, call. Counterblast 1, look at top 5, call. How many cards did I just make on board off of 1? Also, Chimera can call Chimera and proc another Chimera. It's not restricted to itself.
Yeah, that's kind of dumb. But no, the reason I stated this earlier, because, spoiler alert, this deck doesn't have any multi-attack, so it's only a 3-attack deck. But in the future, if it gives any support that can call things, this is the way to possibly get 5 attacks.
Pretty much. You already kind of said the thing. It's not a multi-attack. Liel can put a card from hand or rearguard to gauge zone. So more likely what you're going to do, and we're going to talk more about these combos later, is basically like... I'll talk about it later. Let me go through all the cards. Cards first. Talk about, honestly, the least impressive card out of everything.
Yes. Steam burner Amuni Titana.
Good enough.
It's English. Anyways, auto. When this card is placed on rear guard during your turn, or put as one of your regress gauges during your turn, you can choose one of your units and it gains power +5 until the end of turn.
I mean, that's it. That's it. I get it. It's a 15k. It can be a 50k on itself. It can give Liel 5k. Like, you can call it to a rear guard to have it like a 15k attacker, and then whatever extra power it's getting from the Distorted Banes in order zone, or gauge zone, sorry. And then when you put it into gauge zone with Liel's ability off the rear guard, you can give a Liel or another thing another 5k. So it's like, okay, I see what they're going for.
This is easily one of those cards you can replace.
Exactly.
You don't have to run it.
Exactly. What you're gonna replace it with? Maybe this. Yes. Definitely the next card, but maybe this. Almanic Colossus. Love the name, love the art. Very interesting card for our for our Stoicheia players, specifically Leonon players. Hey, look, we got our own Broccoli because it says auto when this unit is placed on rear guard. If you have a regress gauge, counterblast one, draw a card, and soul charge one. Yes, the soul charge is mandatory, but it's a little bit different than Broccoli. Broccoli's defense. This is offense because it has continuous rear guard. If you have 3 or more regress gauges, this unit gets boost.
I was getting ready to say, you compare this to Broccoli, these are not the same. Broccoli gains shield and power. This does not.
Hey man, you have no idea yet how much a 10k booster in Liel actually matters.
Fair.
Because the last but not least card, the coup de grace, the best card in this deck, in my opinion, that you can do so. I'm gonna rant about this, so you go ahead and read it.
You got Anachronois Dragon. It's grade 3. It's a triple rare. Auto in your gauge zone at the beginning of the battle phase. If this card is a regress gauge, cost counterblast 1. Choose a card from your drop and put it face up as a regress gauge. If you put a card, you can call this card to rear guard. And then auto rear guard when this unit attacks a Vanguard, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Liel in its card name, until the end of the battle, this unit gains power +5. If you have 3 or more regress gauges, you can energy blast 2 and choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. I see why you want to put the order into the drop zone now.
Dude, there's so many. Oh my god, let me start the rant. Just start a timer somewhere and you're like, let me go. So, a couple of things. One thing immediately to know. His first ability is not restricted by anything other than him being a regress gauge, which means when you ride grade 2 and you have this in hand, you put it into your gauge zone, you draw 2 cards. You start your battle phase, you put a card from drop into your gauge zone, and you call this card for a counterblast onto the rear guard while you're at grade 2. So you have a 13k attacker on turn 2, which is good, but it's even better if you somehow manage to see the order. On turn 2, not only can you call yourself a 13k rear guard, but you can put that order into the order zone, draw a card, order into the gauge zone, draw a card, and give your Vanguard 10k to make a 20k Vanguard already. This is turn 2.
Nice.
And the combos don't end there. The combos do not end there. So more than likely how this deck, while this deck usually plays, or how I've played it, is on your turn 3, you don't use almost any CB. Like, there's no CB. You can run the deck off of 1 CB to activate that Chimera, deactivate the Colossus for extra draw. Other than that, you really don't need to use any CB on turn 3.
I was like, this uses CB.
This uses CB if it's in gauge zone. If you put it into gauge zone turn 2 and then call it out, it stays on board. And the only way to put it back into gauge zone is with Liel's own ability. So,
or another copy of itself.
Or another copy of itself. But at that point, it's like you already have it on board. You don't need to call another one. And even if you did have another one, again, you only need 1 CB. You can run a whole turn 3 with 1 CB with Liel and not worry. So you can keep yourself low damage in the early game if you can. And then the fun starts, because what's going to happen, this is more likely going to swing. And then Leo is going to swing to put this into the gate zone so you can prep it for next turn. And then the last thing is going to swing, right? When it comes to your turn 5, if you did everything correctly, the idea is to play an order on turn 3. So you get to 3 cards engaged at the end of your turn. And then on turn 4, you play another order to put another card into the gate zone. And then attack with this when it comes out of gate zone. And then put it back into gate zone with Liel's ability, therefore having 5 for the Divine skill on turn 4. But here's the fun part. Because I've done this consistently almost every time. By the time I get to turn 4, I have 2 Distorted Banes in my gate zone because of one previous turn and one this turn. And I've somehow either managed to draw into or soul charge the other ones. So what happens is, let's say I have 1 circumstances, because apparently this happens more times than I want. There's a Distorted Bane drop. There's a Distorted Bane, 2 of them in the gate zone, and then 1 in soul, right? I start my turn 4. I start my turn 4 battle phase. Cannibal will call this fucker to the drop, to the rear guard, and put a Distorted Bane. Oh look, draw a card plus 10k the Vanguard. So in that turn, my Vanguard is already gaining plus 20k from 2 Distorted Banes, and my front row rear guards are gaining 15k because of the 3 Distorted Banes in gate zone. Swing with this, swing with Vanguard, put this in the gate zone, swing with whatever is left, get the extra turn, stand, draw, beginning of battle phase, counterblast one, call it again. Hey look, I soul blasted the Distorted Bane in my soul for Liel's triple drive cost. Let me put it again into the gate zone. Let me give 10k to Vanguard again. Let me draw another card again. And let me give 20k to front row rear guards now.
You know, I wish I could go this nuts over a triple rare for Levy Dress. Mine's just pretty sweet and simple.
Dude, this card has so many cool combos. You can put the Bane orders to get the powers and draws. You can put another copy of himself to guarantee yourself. Like, if you have enough CB and you do things right, you can put another copy of him, attack with him, put him in the gate zone. Liel does things. Oh no, you've killed my front row, or I've intercepted with it, and I have an abysmal hand. Wait a minute, I have 2 CB, start a battle phase, counterblast 2, call 2 rear guards to the board because I can. And they gain 5k power on their own abilities, and they gain power from the Liel ability. So it's like, oh look, free real estate.
I just want you, whenever you're editing this, just to put like the overlay of like all the math equations that's coming. It's really like,
dude, I'm
just like the mad lad cooking.
Dude, I've enjoyed Liel so much. The only thing I'll say is watch the video when it comes out. It'll be coming out sometime at the end of this week. There's some fun cards I've put in here. We did play certain cards from the reveals because of showcases that might come out later down the road. But the deck's still played really fun, really great. You know who the actual MVP of the deck though is? Hold on, let me pick 2 of the cards so I can show it to both creamers. Boop.
Yeah,
that's the MVP of the deck.
You know that card's been showing its worth even more as it goes. Because I found that actually it's not a bad card to throw into Glass after I built it.
Glass really already has a card that does exactly that, but having more of it doesn't hurt.
Exactly. No, like the other one lets you play it from your drop, back from your hand. This one lets you search it if you don't see it at all outside of the Vanguard skill.
Wait, what? Wait a minute. Soul Blast one, discard a card from hand, choose a sweep from. Oh yeah, that's right. This one just lets you play it. The other one does actually let you search it as well.
Yeah. So if you're like needing to dig for one, having like 2 of that in a deck, it's not a bad option. Just to like you can.
In hindsight, this card might be better because it's 1 Soul Blast less. Oh, it's an act ability. That's why this is good. It's an act ability.
Yeah. Like I said, it's an option. I run 2 of it in there just as an option. But
more of the same to gain more of the guarantees. I completely agree.
Exactly. But like I said, like but I mean that double rare has been proven its worth as it goes. Like all the cards.
I think those double rares have been gonna prove their worth even more, especially in decks like Liel. Like Liel's runs around its Distorted Bane order. We've almost, no, not even almost. Every single one of the Destined ones got an order that's tied to their mechanic.
Levy-Dress got the knowledge order.
Exactly. Levy-Dress got one. Alden got one. I'm forgetting the Dragon Empire one. What's it called?
Oh, the one that gets the two...
yeah, overflow. Overcharge. What's its name?
Yeah. Aqualiba?
Aqualiba, yeah. Yeah, Aqualiba also got an order. So all of them, even technically, Alicia got an order, but nobody really plays it.
And Paudio got one. It's just a token.
You're not wrong. But point is, like, some of the other Destined one got order that did kind of help the mechanics, so you could play them in there. But the more we see orders like Liel's, where it's like this is a part of the main mechanic, the more those cards are going to be very stable.
Exactly.
I think that's enough for Liel. I think I've said everything I wanted to say. The deck is super fun, combo-y. I think the biggest problem about Liel, though, is the fact that you have only 3 attacks, unless you Divine Skill and you have 6 attacks. So the biggest... you go for it.
There is a cheat. It's bad. I'm going to state this now. It's bad. But there is a cheesy way you can get more attacks with an on-hit that came out in the prior sets.
Yeah, but it's an on-hit. And yes, I will. The only thing I'll acknowledge about that on-hit is the fact that you have the resources to do it, and you don't have to worry about... Because it only pulls grade 1s, I believe, to the front row from back row. Or from Soul, sorry, from Soul.
From Soul. So you can pull the grade 1 that on-plays counterblast to call another card.
Well, you got to find a way to Soul Charge it. That's a different story then.
Is that, you got to find a way to Soul Charge it, yeah.
But the point is the fact that you can put grade 1s to the board to multi-attack. And you think, well, it's only a grade 1 and can't really hit. But then you have, Liel that goes, oh, look, orders. Oh, look, power.
Yeah.
So,
and you mean, if you really want to get that multi-attack, you do have an extra turn. So if your opponent just guards out the first turn, you got the second turn to also do it.
Exactly. I much rather prefer the other way to do the extra attack, which is a little bit more gambly. And that's just running the purple OT. I like the purple OT in this deck. It fits so fucking beautifully.
Yeah.
Oh, look, I'm going to swing with this grade 3 rear guard that's going to disappear from my rear guard because my Vanguard is going to have triple drive. So you're having triple drive, and then after that twin drive, so you have more chances of hitting triggers, aka hitting the over trigger. So it's like, oh look, purple OT. Let me grab a card from damage, and let me call a card, and look, I have 4 attacks now. Oh wait, even better, let me call Chimera, counterblast 1, and call another thing. I have 5 attacks now.
And I healed.
And I healed. There's one more thing I do want to mention about Leo real quick, and it pertains to why the grade 2 Colossus, the double rare, is actually a decent card in Liel. It's a whole effect, draw soul charge. Yeah, it's random. You can draw the wrong piece, soul charge the correct piece, yada yada yada. Its merit is the fact that it's a 10k booster. You more than likely will almost at all times have a full board. How Liel plays, having a full board is actually not that hard. The only problem is that most times either one or if not both of your rear guards are going to be the grade 3 triple rare dragon, which means your back rows are 8Ks boosting a 13K. You're always 2K shy of that magic number for all your swings, Vanguard included, if you're boosting. So that extra 2K making a 10K booster actually comes up and matters.
Fair enough.
Yeah. That's all I want to say.
So what do we got after Leo?
Oh my lordy Lou. We should have just manifested along here.
They should have manifested along here. They got Orifice support in a grade 1 common. Cardinal Fang Tenebira. Continuous rear guard. All of your Shadow Army tokens get auto when your other unit is attacked. Cost retire this unit. Choose one of your units being attacked and it gains power +5 until the end of battle. Holy cow, is this Bunker Orifice support?
Dude, don't tempt me. Don't tempt me. Do not tempt me. I just might bring back Bunker Orifice because of this one common. Oh my god. Oh, See, this is the type of card that is like, oh, I'm playing against a non-retire deck where I can't touch this in the back or yada yada yada. Plop. Hi, let's have fun.
Here's an extra 20k shield you wasn't expecting me to have.
Pretty much. Like that actually can matter more times than you'd think. It's a very simple ability, but damn, it actually does kind of prove itself.
Irony is if you have 3 or 2 of those in the back or somewhere on the board and you have 3 Shadow Army tokens, those are actually an extra 30k shield.
Exactly. Like it actually scales, which is amazing. We did get one more card, Alex.
Oh, yes. You got Cardinal Draco Nezarec. I think that's how you say it. It's a grade 2 double rare for Orphist. Auto, when this unit is placed on rear guard or put onto Guardian Circle. If you have 2 or more Shadow Army tokens, this unit gains power plus 10,000, shield plus 10,000 until the end of the turn. And then auto, when this unit is retired from rear guard during the battle phase, you can put this card into your hand.
I might just make Bunker Orphist again.
Jesus Christ! This like all these support cards scream Bunker Orifice, and it scares me.
Oh my god, I'm loving it. It's a simple, but see, this is what I mean. The double words we're getting is like, oh, these are cool. These are options, though. These are like options that you might put in your deck to kind of play a different version of the deck. They're not like, oh, this goes into the deck immediately because it changes how the deck completely plays and bumps it up a whole fucking tier.
Yeah, like this is like, okay, cool. Was you lacking shield? Well, you can take a few of these inside of like a Orphis Mask or something like that because you're going to call over it anyways. It's just an option.
Exactly. Speaking of shield cards and buff cards, we saw the last 2 support cards. Well, last 2 support. We saw the last rear or normal unit inside of Night Rose Strat deck set, as well as Night Rose herself. And these were kind of a shock. At first, when you read this first one, you think, okay, that's cool, but nothing too impressive. But then you start realizing the magic numbers that this thing hits, and it just starts becoming better and better.
Dude, this card is really good. Like, no, not gonna lie.
Exactly, especially when you think of the deck it goes. The card we're talking about is Marauding Shade. I can't say it's back. It's not an encounter card. This is a new card.
No. So Marauding Shade, I can't remember. I want to say it was an existing card. It might be.
I don't think it was. I think it was just called something different. But Marauding Shade, you might be, Alex, you might be remembering something that has like Shade in its card name, something that has Marauding in its card name, but something that has Marauding Shade as its card name? Yeah, that's completely new.
Oh, no, what I was thinking of is the art-wise reminds me a lot of Ruin Shade.
See?
Ruin Shade looks
Shade, not Marauding Shade.
But I was saying the artwork is very similar. That's what I thought.
Yeah, because this is Ruin Shade's younger brother or older brother, or whatever you want to headcanon yourself.
Jesus, man.
Anyway, the effect, of course, it has the hollow ability, so as per usual, at the end of turn dies. But it has also two very interesting effects. Auto, when this unit becomes hollowed, if you have a Night Rose Crest, this unit gets power 5 until the end of turn. If your drop has 10 or more cards, it gets 10k instead of 5, making a 20k attacker. And then auto, when this unit is put on Guardian Circle, if you have a Vampire Night Rose Crest, this unit gets shield 5k, and until the end of turn. And then if your drop has 10 or more cards, this gets 10 shield instead of 5. So it has the same abilities for 2 different scales in the sense of, oh, if I'm attacking, I gain 5/10 depending on my drop. If I'm guarding, I gain 5/10 for my shield, depending on my drop.
Fun fact about this card is none of this is GB locked.
Nope.
So in the early game, it's not impossible, but it can happen. If you have 10 or more cards in your drop, this is a 20k attacker, 15k shield. Hell,
even not having a 10 condition, early game, this is a 15k attacker, 10k shield interceptor. And you don't care about, if it dies because you're a fucking Night Rose. Oh, just fucking call it back.
Also, in the later game, when you have your crest active, even just having GB2 active means that the crest is given 10k, so this is a 20k becoming a 30k. 30k is a good number. The scale is even bigger with that.
I have one card as the best example of gaining 10k power next to the crest power makes up all the difference. And you know what that card is? Genkai from Shiranui.
Yes.
He'll always gain 10k power when you stride because you dominate twice. And then he'll also gain 15k power if you do the Shiranui stride, but that's beside the point. Him gaining 10k power next to the crest power in Shiranui has already shown how dangerous that is.
Yes. And this literally does nothing other than just existing on the board, basically.
This is technically a better Genkai because Genkai does restand, but this at least is then a 15k shield.
Yes.
Hell, if you don't want to do the stupid Night Rose combo of going into a hostage Night Rose, you can just, you know, hollow, this dies, mill 3, put 1 to the bottom, and call this back to rear guard, not hollow it, and now I have a 15k intercept on my board just because.
Exactly. They kill it on your turn. They try to retire it, your special intercept on your turn. Cool. I'll just GP3 on your turn, or GP2 on your turn and bring it back again. Exactly.
So overall, good card. Speaking of good cards, we saw both first strides for Night Rose and Hari, and in all honesty, as much as they weren't impactful strides and they're more setup strides, they're the type of strides that you don't really want to keep going into. So to compensate that, the main strides kind of got a little bit bonkers because we got Mist Phantasm Pirate King Night Rose. The same stride cost as always. You have to discard a Night Rose for the stride cost. And then one ability, but one ability is all you need. Auto Vanguard, Generation Break 2. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, counter blast 1 and retire to your rear guards. Choose up to choose up to 2 grade 2 or greater cards with different card names from your drop and call them to rear guard. If your drop has 10 or more cards, until the end of turn, this unit gets critical +1, and if your drop has 15 or more cards, all of those called units gain 10k power. Hi, Night Rose.
Yep. And people are probably saying like, oh, you gotta discard a Night Rose to keep doing this. Buddy, I don't think you understand what the special stride fodder for Stoikeo was.
Pretty much.
Engulf literally says on place, if you have a grade 4 unit, you can soul blast to grab a grade 2 or greater. You just grab the Night Rose back. You just keep looping. Like, this is nothing. This is literally nothing for the cost.
I want to say this is a more different, honestly, this is just a little bit of different wording version of, Excellence Messiah. This is just a little bit of different Excellence, because Excellence gave 10k to the front row. This doesn't give 10k to itself, but it also gained a crit. And Excellence was the, oh, I'm going to get 5 attacks no matter what type of card. This is also, I'm going to get a 5 attacks no matter what type of card. Not to mention, there's a fun combo. There's a very fun combo here. If you can set up the board properly and you have enough CB for it, you call whatever board, you call Negrabone. So you swing with your rear guards, you swing with Negrabone, he dies, draws your card. Then you use her skill, call whatever good attacker, let's say Marauding Shade that we talked about, and then Negralazy. And then Negralazy activates, calls Negrabone again. So not only do you have good attackers, but Negrabone's going to retire itself again and draw a card.
I will say that also the fun part about this card is that the retiring 2 rear guards is the cost. So you can retire your same rear guard you attacked with and call them back the same battle phase.
Exactly.
Fun card.
And you still have crest powers, which means this is giving, crest is already giving 10k to the front row. Like if we take Marauding Shade again, for example, for this, that Marauding Shade, if we count that we're at 15 cards and drop, right? That Marauding Shade on rear guard on the first swing is already a, let's see, 20, 30k on its own. Right? If I'm mathing math.
40k.
10 base, 10 from crest, 10 from its own ability is 30. And then if it gets called again, it's 40, yes.
Yes.
So you can have it 30, let's say again, boosted with Negrabone, because Negrabone is just that good. So you have a 38 swinger, another swinger that's in the same range, probably like 28, maybe 33. And then this swings, calls 2 more cards, and now you have a 48 or 40 Marauding Shade, just because. After, you know, triple drive, that's probably going to hit triggers.
And it's a double crit Vanguard, too.
Yeah, it's a double crit Vanguard, too. So, Night Rose Huzzah has saved the Night Rose Stride deck to be an actual multi-attack deck and actually be able to do something.
The only issue I think you're going to run into with Night Rose, it's solvable, it's not a problem, is getting the cards in your drop.
There's one more problem, CB. Negro Lazy, Counterblast, it also countercharges, but only countercharges once. So Night Rose Stride ability is Counterblast. This card is Counterblast on attack. There's a lot of Counterblast going around. I think one of the cards, if you're going to start doing this loop, I think one of the cards is almost always going to get called either from Negro Lazy's ability or just from the Night Rose ability might be the grade 2 that says, hey, you attacked 5 times, put it to Soul Countercharge.
Or you can run the Trident grade 1 that says when you attack 5 or more times, because this will give you a 5th attack. You can go into Soul and countercharge.
Didn't I just say that?
You said the grade 2, I think. The Dragon.
Oh, yeah, there is the grade 1 for Flagburger. That's right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that could work too, because... no, I honestly think the Dragon is better than the grade 1, because the grade 1 is when you attack the 5th time, it goes to Soul Countercharges. The Dragon is at the end of turn. So what you can do is you can activate Negro Lazy's effect first to countercharge, and then use the Dragon to countercharge. Because if you put the grade 1 into Soul and countercharge during battle phase, Negro Lazy is not going to activate because you already countercharged this turn.
Mm.
So you got to be careful of those. See, those are the little nuances that you got to be careful of.
I'm sure that look through the card pool and crack it up. But I will give a suggestion. If you have the room, Rousing Rasp is a good card in here because it can help you set up your drop zone in an early game if you feel like you want to burn the CB for it.
Valid. If you want to burn the CB for it.
Yeah, but it adds a grade equal to or greater than your Vanguard. So in the early game, you can add the Stride Ditch that you draws you a card and give you your setup in the early game as well. True,
very, very true. All right, moving on. We do got to talk about Alex. Please cover these. I don't want to touch them.
Got Desire Devil support, boys. Great on support. But it's honestly kind of meh. But we'll talk about it. We got Desire Devil Impuck. It is a grade 1 auto soul. If you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with greed on its card name, you can bind this card, energy charge 1, and choose one of your Vanguards and it gains power plus 5k. Why you would want to eat your own soul? Who knows, but you can do it.
Do the next one, please.
We've got Desire Devil Alcorin. It's a grade 2 double rare auto. When this unit is placed on rear guard, if you have a Vanguard with greed on and Desire Devil in its card name, cost Counterblast 1. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Choose up to 1 unit with Desire Devil in its card name from among the revealed cards. Put into your hand and shuffle your deck. That seems pretty decent. And then Auto Soul. If you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with greed on in its card name, you can Soul Blast 1 and bind this card. So it's -2 in your soul. Choose one of your opponent's rear guards and put it into their soul.
Why? First Bruce support that doesn't solve the problem, and now greed on support that's kind of okay but doesn't solve the problem.
Like the first ability is okay. Like if you use it plus the other triple rare we got, you can technically just make a board off of this and that card alone. But you're eating through a lot of energy and counterblast to do that, and sometimes that counterblast is needed for other things. But the other ability is, why would you just neg your soul when that soul is important for certain builds?
-2 cards in soul to get something off of your opponent's board is not worth. To get one thing off of your opponent's board is not worth it.
Like if it's really a bot deck, maybe. The fact that it goes to soul means your opponent has a chance to soul blast it if you're trying to keep it away from drop. If you really want, and if you're not trying to, if the drop isn't the problem, then you have the horse that just straight retires by going into soul when you don't have
exactly.
Soul.
And it gives guard shift on top of that.
Yeah, like I said, if you're trying to get away from the drop zone, right? Put it to bot deck. Don't put it in the soul because they're just gonna soul blast it anyways.
I feel like this Greedon support was a miss. The first Greedon support we got in set 1 was so good. It was so good. And this feels like you said it beautifully. The first effect is probably the only good merit about this double rare. The grade 1 is shit. I'm sorry, I spaced out for the grade 1. What did it do again? Energy charge 1. You don't need energy that much, and especially 1. You don't need 1 energy that much to bind a card. So the biggest issue I have with both of these cards is exactly that, the minus cards and soul. Both versions of Greedon care about not only quantity, but also quality of cards in your soul. So minusing that in any way, shape, or form is a no-no for the deck. And the abilities that you get off of minusing your soul are not worth it.
Not really. Especially this one.
God, another problem I have about this card. And I don't even know how to, because Greedon is not a Desire Devil. You know this, right?
Yes. So
this can only search Desire Devils.
Yeah, you can't get your Greedon. So if you see the Greedons and triggers, you just whiff.
It's a Counterblast top 5 for Desire Devils, and if you whiff, you whiff. You don't get to draw a card, you don't get to countercharge, you just whiff. And the argument here could be that you have a lot of Desire Devils potentially in your deck, but then you look at the actual decks. Greedon Mask does not have that many Desire Devils in there. It has some, not that many. That deck is a solved deck.
And the thing is if you're playing Mask, you already have a way to search Desire Devils. It's using Greedon's Mask's second ability.
And that one whiffs more times than not.
Yeah.
So Greedon Mask definitely will whiff with this card. Not to mention Greedon Mask. Like I said, Greedon Mask is a solved deck. It honestly, in my opinion, is a solved deck. It is a functioning. It wants to do what it wants to do. The only thing that could upgrade Greedon Mask is to replace the cards that are already in there with cards that do the exact same thing but better. That was the triple rare we got for Greedon in set 1. It was an Energy Blast card that pulled cards out of Soul. It's exactly what Greedon Mask wanted. It wanted to keep pulling out the grade 1 ride line, the goat, the pieces you wanted back row to go back into Soul and do things with. So it's perfect for the deck. As for Greedon, this cat can potentially go into Greedon. You have more Desire Devils in there than in Greedon Mask.
But that one cares about your soul more because there's times where you just can't get to that 10 cards in soul for the 15p of power.
So the only thing you're really using this is for the Counterblast one, look at top 5, which that Counterblast can potentially be used for better things.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm just disappointed. The cat's probably gonna get ran in original Greedon, not in Greedon Mask. But
now,
this is again,
give us a new. Now, Bushy, if you give us a new Greedon to merit this, cool. Otherwise, no.
Yeah, no. That's been it for the leaks. I swear, other than Odium, Bushiroad has been looking in my Dark Stage decks, so finding the things I like and going, give them bad support, give them bad support, give them bad support. Just keep going.
No. They're like, you gotta make them love Odium. It's like Odium's good, but we gotta make them love Odium. How do we make them love Odium? Let's just make everything else bad to where he has no other reason but to love Odium.
It's okay. They're not doing that strategy because we are getting some cards for Dark Stage that are making the other decks good. Because in the September promo pack for English, have we already got? Yeah, we already got these.
Yes, we're just getting them. We're just getting the same ones again. Yes. Yeah.
So we're getting more of them. More of the Blandmeyer grade 1 is always a good thing, and I know Brentgate players want more of the Boba main hero, and so forth and so forth. So this is just really cool to know that these are continuing. In other news, though, guess what? Bushiro decided to, at a lyrical event, correct me if I'm wrong, at a lyrical event, drop just, out of nowhere in the halls. Like, here, this is this poster just existing here.
The thing that everybody was theorizing was going to happen. We got Dear Days 2.
We got Dear Days 2. Ironically, at the event, people saw this like, what the fuck? How do you announce this way? And not maybe a couple hours later, all the social media dropped the actual trailer for Dear Days 2.
I know. Not even the run stream. Just throw it on social media. Okay, that's fair. I thought you meant like it was like a random Kurokuro event and not like an actual big one. Okay.
No, so apparently they showed it at Kurokuro properly, but see, I don't know how I feel when they show it at an event properly, but most people find out about it from YouTubers going at the lyrical event, click, post. I found out. I saw more Deer Days posts from people posting on social media of this flyer, poster, whatever, than the actual proper announcements.
I, on the other hand, was different. I saw it because I'm one of the few people in our group that actually uses Instagram. I saw the Instagram trailer before in the post on the Instagram before I saw from anywhere else.
Anyway, speaking of Deer Days, apparently the UI is going to be very similar. A couple of changes. For example, the deck creation is going to be look a little bit and operate a little bit differently. It seems like we're getting some Deer Days original characters back. We're getting DivineZ characters in. We're getting DivineZ sets, of course. We're getting 3 new characters from what it seems like. And a couple of information. Yes,
I was gonna say. I'm assuming that it's probably gonna be one of the original 5, not lyrical. So we already have a Dark State Syndicator. We're gonna assume it's probably Stoicheia, Dragon Empire, and Brantgate.
Honestly, have no clue. Cool. I got no clue. We got 3 original characters and 3 promos again coming in with the game, physical copy of the game in Japan. So we'll get 3 more promos. The thing though to note here is that apparently on release, the game will have everything up to lyrical DZ lyrical set 1.
Yep.
So that does not include Stride Deck sets for Night Rose and Hari, set 4 and set 5. That should include Festival, Lyrical, set 3, set 2, set 1, and all those.
I will quote what everybody else has been saying. You know what this means, right? When you're trying to climb those ladders in rank, buddy, get ready to see all the Shiranui. Or not Shiranui, but Soji Doji.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun times all around.
Also, the game, on a fun note, there is something really exciting for you for this.
Uh-oh. If you're going to say glass.
No. This is new Deer Days content, correct? You know what this means? Favernil support.
No. No, it doesn't.
Yes.
No, it actually doesn't.
Yeah, it does.
No, I'm going to give you I'm going to give you $10 if we get Favernil support because of Deer Days.
All right.
Because I know it's not going to happen.
Because usually the first time we got Favernil was from the game.
Yes, and the only time we got Favernil and any support after that was maybe promos and other cards. No, we're not getting actual Favernil support because of a game. I'm sorry, that is not happening.
No, we'll see.
Anywho. Moving on to the news section. Oh, the only thing I actually wanted to say about Deer Days is apparently the game is going to be again around the $70 mark. You might be able to get the official game cheaper from like Ami, yada, yada, yada. If you're different regions, it might be cheaper for you. But it is, again, like the first game, a full release. So it's going to follow similar pricings like the first game. Do with that information as you will.
It does feel bad for the people like us that have played all the DLC. Hopefully they give something to people who paid for the original game and have all the DLC for the original game.
I am not touching any of that drama with a 10-foot pole. I'm just excited for Deer Days 2 because content. That's it.
Fair enough.
Anyway, moving on though, mentioning this, Bushiroad official judge program has officially started with September 1st. It will be running all the way to October 30th, so come join me in trying.
Huzzah.
Huzzah. Simple, straightforward on that. And then last bit of news before we end this episode here. The product stream, there will only be a one-day product stream or strategy presentation, technically, is going to be on September 23rd. And it's going to be covering all of Bushiroad's IP again. Predictions for this is the fact that we might get some information for future products aka whatever set 6 might be, aka if we're gonna get another Stride Decks, maybe too soon to tell, collab stuff, yada yada yada.
I will tell you exactly what my prediction is for this. It is going to be, we're going to get a lot of information for the Korra collab, because that is an actual set. We're going to probably see the next 2 Stride Deck sets, because it's a new year. So they can go ahead and do another set. They can go ahead and announce it. And then we're going to see set 6, which is going to be the next Kree Cross Epic set. And we're going to see probably Vermilion the Blood, Platinum Ezel, and Glory Maelstrom. Just the cover cards.
What about Minerva?
Well, what do we go from Minerva? The next thing was the Legions.
I'll let Bushy figure that out. But yes, who knows? That time will tell. That is about 3 weeks away, so can't wait. But with all that being said, we can end this episode here. Thank you very so much for watching and listening to episode 231 of E-Time. If you like the episode, please like, share, comment down below what your predictions for the strategy presentation are, what your predictions for next week Hari are, so forth and so forth. But if you like what you hear, subscribe to the channel, ring that bell to get notified, maybe become a member for some awesome perks like screaming in my ear while I'm trying to talk.
Exactly.
But with all that being said, go check out Alex's One to Pass podcast as well if you made it all the way this far. But with all that being said, actually now, we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Did you like me plugging your podcast in?
Thank you.
I have something to talk to you about on that later.
Oh, God.